is barbaric and stupid. I think violence is barbaric and stupid and repulsive, and that's my opinion.
If you were a slave and I were your master,
I'd
and
hate
the
to.
only way for you to be free was to strike your blow to kill me, what would you do?
I think violence.
We're repeating it. It was so good. Like, this is literally, people talk about mic drops. This is a literal fucking mic drop.
I think violence is barbaric and stupid and repulsive, and that's my opinion.
If you were a slave and I were your master,
I'd
and
hate
the
to.
only way for you to be free was to strike your blow to kill me, what would you do?
Dude didn't even have shit to say. So, starting off with a bit of levity, we're talking about how do you combat fear and repression with Maoism, or not even with Maoism, but just like with common fucking sense. Like Elder Kwame Ture, who died on this day in 1998, said, like, I think a lot of our comrades in and outside of DSA that spend huge amounts of time arguing over like not even violence is violence, but even like militant direct action. Like they don't all come from petty bourgeois backgrounds. Like that's an easy cop out. Like many of these people are from working class proletarian backgrounds. And like we're not getting into the whole Red Guards Austin life or death knife fights on the basketball court type bullshit. But like in DSA, we're constantly talking about various caucuses, various individuals. We're always talking about a theory of change, right? How do we, as socialists, because we all agree that this shit cannot stand. That's one thing that unites us in DSA. We're all in this organization because we believe that we need a better way. This world is fucked up and we simply refuse to stand for it. So, how can we define our theory of change and liberation for people who are confused? The floor is open to everybody. I'm not just going to sit here and yap all out.
We're trying to transform DSA into a revolutionary organization that also has a mass character.
DSA isn't already a mass organization. I mean, DSA already isn't a revolutionary organization that has a mass character. Like, how would we define DSA as DSA members? Like, what are some characteristics of DSA that we can identify? Like when you think of DSA, okay, when you think of DSA members, when we go to meetings and we think of our comrades, like how can we characterize the position of the average DSA member?
In my experience, electoralist.
Really? Yeah, we really don't have all that many hardline electoral abstentionists in DSA. I'm not even a hardline electoral abstentionist anymore. And like, how do we define? Like, we do all agree that participation in elections is somewhat necessary, right? Like, we don't want to just cede that trench of combat to the enemy. For example, take a school board, right? School boards have a decent amount of power for our trans comrades, for our trans youth. Like, do we really want to allow Moms for Liberty and all these other fascist groups to just like conquer school boards and make their lives a living hell? I don't think we would be very good communists if we did that.
No,
So,
definitely not.
Yeah.
And so my local chapter is looking at a school board right now, possibly running DSA members for the school board because there's actually a rule in that county where the teachers themselves, anybody who works for the school system, cannot be on the school board. So that automatically disqualifies people from the teachers union from getting on the school board.
It's kind of weird. Are they do they spin it as like a bit of a conflict of interest thing or something like that? They'll all raise their salaries to $50 million a year or something?
Yeah. That's pretty much what it is.
Well, it's kind of stupid. I would allow teachers to be on the school board. I mean, if there's anybody that knows anything about teaching people, it's teachers, right?
Yeah, and I just wonder, like, how many little counties around the country have those same rules that keep the workers from actually running the schools.
Yeah. So looking at chat, people keep saying that it's too big tent to have a consistent description. Yeah, we've got a lot of people. I mean, well, one of the selling points that I use when I try to bring people into DSA is like, look, bro, I'm literally a fucking Maoist. Okay, I'm not like Maoish. I'm not. I don't just think Mao is cool. Like I'm literally a hardline, dyed in the wool Maoist. I have been for almost 10 years. Like if DSA has room for people like me, and not just people like me, but like Liberation, we have almost 100 people, right? Well, more like 60. No, 60 is closer to 100 than it is to 0. So, yeah, we have almost 100 fucking people. So, if there's room for mad motherfuckers like us, then, like, there's room for you. And I think a lot of people are just fucking, like, they're just fucking lazy. Like, they don't want to struggle. They're like, oh, my chapter is rightist. I'm like, yeah, bro, sure. I'm from St. Louis. My chapter was known as a center right chapter for a long time. And what did I do? Did I just sit and complain about it and yap and whine on the internet? No. Like, we're communists. If you can't enter the largest socialist organization in the United States and change it and make it and paint it, as Che would say, the colors that you want it to be, then you really have no business running around calling yourself a socialist. And I have the greatest respect for comrades in PSL, for comrades in Frizzo, for comrades in various other organizations, but those comrades are doing something. They don't just sit on the internet and whine. They don't want to join DSA because they're already in an organization. But like to just refuse to organize in general, it's just lazy. Like you cannot be a communist if you don't organize. That's one thing that I consistently tell people.
Yeah, and another characteristic of a lot of people is that they tend to fetishize labor in DSA. But like I said in the comments, there's a lot of people who fetishize labor or fetishize elections because there's a lot of barriers in many DSA chapters to actually doing mutual aid and harm reduction work. So they just get desperate and they start working in the avenues that are already carved out, right?
My chapter literally has we have a streets organizing committee. That's what we term the Green New Deal subcommittee into the Green New Deal committee into. So we have a streets organizing committee with 2 co-chairs, and we have 3 subcommittees. One of those subcommittees is mutual aid. So, and they've hit the ground running. They did their first brake light clinic a week and a half ago, and it was very well received. And people are happy to see DSA doing that type of work. And like, no, we're not under the impression that we can change every fucking brake light in the city of St. Louis. But like, if we're socialists, if we're communists, right, helping people should be the bare minimum. And I keep seeing people arguing like, oh, it's bourgeois charity. No, it's not bourgeois charity. It's proletarian assistance. Of
It's
course,
also
a lot
just
of
good
people.
propaganda.
Yeah,
Like if you're I don't know, a communist and you help some guy on the side of the road, you know, like their impression of communism is not going to be what you did because people like the personal connection is much more important than anything like that's on the internet, any stuff they see on the news. What people will latch onto is the personal connection that you make. And we as communists should be talking to people of all walks of life, and that just sometimes means helping someone with something as simple as fixing their brake light.
It's very true, Comrade Pato. If you didn't know, Pato is Spanish for duck. I don't know how the fuck I remembered that. I guess, maybe I'm not as bad at Spanish as I thought I was. Anyways, Comrade 4792, with a very lovely profile pic, asks, have we looked into working in unity and struggle with the various people's defense committees? Yeah, I've heard of them. At first, I thought they were like Red Guards Part 2, but they actually seem to be some very principled comrades with very good heads on their shoulders. So, yeah. Liberation Caucus, and I just speak as a member of the Central Committee, but we're open to working with anybody that can be united with. Mao and Maoism are not about endless splitting. That's a habit of petty bourgeois, so-called socialists in the imperial core. So yeah, we're definitely down to work with anybody who wants to work with us, inside or outside of DSA. I've seen a lot of stuff from the People's Defense Committees. A lot of them seem pretty cool, and there's really no reason why Maoists should not be working with other Maoists or Maoist-influenced people. I'm disillusioned from electoral politics in my city because of the rigid hierarchy in many organizations, gaslighting by paid full-time activists who get to hang out with politicians and business owners. Yeah, many such cases. We live in the imperial core. When you're involved in that type of bourgeois politics, that's what's going to happen.
Exactly.
What's up, Ray? Where'd you go?
Food.
Food?
Who do we got tonight? Texas and Georgia. What is there, a football game?
I believe so. I don't follow football.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, neither do I.
And we're a bunch of nerds.
Yep. Gonna get shoved into a locker right now.
Yeah. Nobody's shoving you into a locker. You're in a caucus full of Maoist gun nuts. You touch one, you touch one of us, you touch all of us. Anyways, so back to the topic of discussion tonight. So fear and fear of repression. Unless you're like an absolute fucking sociopath, nobody wants to go out and get killed. Why? Because we as human beings, we have a natural impulse towards life. That's any animal, right? Nobody wants to go out and this is very, very dangerous stuff that we're taught. That communism is dangerous. Communism is a dangerous ideology. The vast majority of people who have identified as communists in human history, early on at least, ended their lives in front of a firing squad or at the end of a rope, yeah? So we're already demonstrating that we're not scared by openly identifying as communists. But at the same time, this shit is real. Trump literally called out DSA in his stupid ass executive order regarding anti-communism day or whatever. So it's even more important that we get our shit together and that we don't allow the enemy to easily frighten us. Because when you do that, you're doing what they want you to do. What do they want you to do? They want you to be involved in exclusively in methods that they control: elections, petition writing your Congress people, writing your aldermen, stuff like that. Shit that they know doesn't work, but it provides you the warm and toasty feeling of having done something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one reason that I lost a bit of hope over the last couple of years with the Starbucks union. Right now they're on strike, and absolutely everybody should be supporting them. But only 1,000 workers right now across 60 stores or something like that. Because they have actually failed to get they failed to get most of those stores strike ready to be prepared to go on strike. Pretty big blunder, but also the Starbucks Workers United Union is really having trouble adapting to an environment where there's no NLRB to help them. They've become too reliant on legal processes. And in fact, last year, whenever Starbucks said they're going to come to the bargaining table, the union just sort of took that as the concepts of a plan meme. We have a concept of a plan for a contract. And so the union decided they were going to withdraw hundreds of unfair labor practices charges against Starbucks. They withdrew those charges and they got nothing in return. And they also, unfortunately, they slowed down their organizing. If you think about 650 stores that are unionized across Starbucks, the number could be way higher. Starbucks operates many thousands of stores, 10,000 stores. And if they wouldn't have slowed down their organizing in order to entice Starbucks to come to the bargaining table, they would have a lot more stores unionized right now. So things there are not looking good, and I think a lot of workers are going to lose faith in the union movement. And DSA labor needs to step up more and start acting on getting those non-unionized stores, targeted and agitated, so that workers will actually feel somewhat comfortable doing wildcats instead of waiting around.
If you wildcat, like I was actually talking to a stream I did a few months ago. I was talking to comrade Frank. If you remember him, he's an IAM member, a machinist. We were talking about the Boeing strike, and he literally said that like if you just walk out, if you wildcat, then they can just fucking fire all of you. Is that the case? Like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think a lot of people, especially like if they've got responsibilities, mortgage, kids, car note, all that, like George Jackson said, that a worker's first impulse is to eat, right?
Oh
So,
yeah,
so like it's a pretty tall order to try to get people to literally basically just walk off their job, especially like, and that's one thing. That's one thing that labor organizers that I've talked to, they say like apathy. It's not just inherent at the imperial core, but like people, if people rely on a job, they're not going to put that in jeopardy because like especially like if you're um depending on the industry that you're in, like you're like, okay, if I lose my work, when am I going to find another one? So that's where strike funds come in. Like we've literally had like if you're on strike from a union, you also can't get food stamps because they're basically like, oh, especially now they're like, okay, you walked off your fucking job, you're on strike. Why would we feed you? So like, there's a lot of things that we have to think about before we just like start talking about wildcat strikes and all that because it looks good in the books. It looks good in the books. It makes our communist hearts skip a beat when we hear about thousands of workers walking off the job in Greece or Italy in solidarity with Palestine. But just from like a pragmatic point of view, American workers like, and they keep us like that. Like they keep American workers constantly teetering on the brink of falling into the abyss because they know that makes organizing difficult. Like the bourgeoisie are smart. Like the bourgeoisie, you don't accumulate billions and billions and billions of dollars by being stupid unless your name is Elon Musk. So, like they know, okay, if we can keep these people like constantly teetering on the brink of precarity, then the organizing, it's a done data. Like we don't have to worry about them doing that.
yeah. That's also one reason that the strike probably has. It's day 3 of the strike, and it's still at basically around the same scale. Those 1,000 workers who are out there right now, essentially not having any legal protections, even though they've activated a legal form of strike, the unfair labor practices strike. But the NLRB doesn't have any enforcement powers anyway,
Yeah.
and why
Plus
would
Trump
they
is
side with the workers?
yeah. Plus Trump and his Supreme Court are like gutting what little protections that workers have. That's like George Jackson talks about how Taft-Hartley and all this other post World War II because like people were throwing down after World War II. People were throwing down during the Great Depression. But going back to George Jackson, and he's still on my mind because we did a study group on him yesterday. We're doing another one on the 21st, I believe.
That was a great study group, by the way.
Yeah. And like he's still on my mind because like the dude was a fucking prophet. Like he literally said that these people basically gave away the right to strike. You had the Treaty of Detroit, which basically was between the UAW and the automakers up there, and they basically were like, you know what, we're gonna be your guys. Like we're basically going to turn ourselves from a class struggle institution into a lobbying group. Like that's pretty much all American unions are. They're lobbying groups. Everything they do is legal. Everything they do is wrapped, tied, and tangled by the red tape and the tentacles of the American fascist government. And am I saying do not join a union? No, you're not going to be able to go anywhere and say BRG said do not join a union. But
There's a lot of liberation members who are IWW members, including you, Chris.
yes, I'm a wobbly. Ray, you unmuted yourself. What do you have to say?
I just unmuted myself since I was done eating, at least for now.
Oh, but what's your take on all this?
I couldn't really hear you over my chewing, I'm going to be honest.
What did you eat?
Currently just got down with some fries.
Just French fries?
Well, that's just what I've eaten so far.
Typical fucking American. El señor Pato, ¿qué tienes, güey?
I don't know. I'm not part of a union. I'm just a student, so like, this isn't really my forte. But
That you are a Maoist, you have the right to an opinion.
that is true. That is true. Like, I am very like cynical of like the union movement, especially with Trump. I don't really see, like, obviously we should struggle in it, but I don't really see I don't want to say I don't really see the points in organizing because that's just wrong. But it seems like such a like organizing in this in a union at this point in time doesn't seem like where most of our efforts should be placed.
So where should most of our efforts be placed?
I think a lot of it is like the mutual aid stuff, like having like a tight knit community that is actually supporting itself, whether that be like food, like everyone always loves bringing it up. The Black Panthers, they had an excellent mutual aid program, right? And especially with the bill, I don't know if you guys saw this, but the bill has like it removes food safety standards, like food inspections and whatnot. I don't remember what it exactly removed, but it removed that stuff. So a lot of like food health and safety stuff where it's going to have to be done at the local level. We're going to have to meet the demand there because a lot of people are going to end up getting more sick as this administration just destroys every like environmental protections, literally every aspect that it will affect our health. Our health day to day is going to be attacked. And so I see mutual aid as like the vanguard of what we're supposed to do.
Could the argument be made that all of this stuff is being done intentionally with eugenics in mind?
I honestly think so. I think they're like I joked about this, that like their agenda is just kill the poor, but it is legitimately just what they seem to want to do.
Yeah. And they've tried this before. Like they literally used to sterilize Boricua, Chicana, and New African women. Like you go to the hospital in Puerto Rico or in Mississippi or in Arizona, and if you were the wrong shade of brown, you would be. They would literally sterilize you. The involuntary sterilizations were so common in my grandmother's home state of Mississippi that they literally called them Mississippi appendectomies. You go to the hospital for an appendectomy and they would give you a fucking hysterectomy. And like they figured out she's just an ignorant plantation woman. She doesn't know. But like they wanted to willfully curtail the population of colonized people. They didn't want us having no more kids. So yeah, me and you, Senor Quack, like, yeah, they didn't want no more of us around. So our very existence, I guess you could say, is a form of resistance, no? But going back to like how to combat fear, because like I said, you're right to be afraid. Like these are very, very scary times that we live in. Like this shit is no joke. Like we literally have people being dragged off the street for no reason. We have people's houses being kicked into. We have people's houses being shot up. Chicago has been under siege. Los Angeles has been under siege for half a year. just riding around shooting tear gas at people for no reason. They chased the preschool teacher into the school. I'm surprised they didn't shoot tear gas up into the school. Like this shit is really happening. And a normal person, they would look at this stuff and be like, I don't want no parts of this. I don't want to get tear gas. I don't want to get kidnapped. But like eventually some of us, like a revolution is not just something that drops from the sky. It doesn't it's it's something that's made. Like you have to consciously build and develop towards it using all the rules of the art, as Leonard would say. And also, we're not like chuds. Like we're not like the fucking MAGA com weirdos that are like, oh yeah, you're soft, you're a pussy, you're not built for the revolution. Because like, first of all, that's not how you talk to comrades. Like abusing your comrades is not a really good way to. I mean, yeah, if you're in a cult, that's different. But in an open political organization where all of our comrades' views are respected and valued, like we have to take into account that a lot of people, they're not nobody's going to willfully go out and seek death, but at the same time death is being brought to us. So how do we square that contradiction, so to speak?
And genuinely, I have like no clue. I've like thought about this a lot. Like what is cowardice and what is just like rightful fear and like that sort of sense of self-preservation that most people have, right? At some point, you do have to make the choice to like stand up for yourself. And the question I ask myself is, what's that tipping point for like the majority of the population? Like when do they realize that like you can't just ignore this anymore? Because we here, like we're Maoists, like we're like this shit's gonna be tough, but we have to do it.
Yeah.
But what about the rest of the populace?
Yeah, and like even an ideology really cannot be said to like steel you against what we have to face. Like there's no book that you can read that makes you like 100% ready to go out and do this stuff. Like you're going to be scared, you're going to piss and shit your pants. You might even flake out sometimes, but I think it's a matter of like realizing the situation in which we live. Collective theoretical study like we do. I mean, you're a candidate, Senor Quack. Like we have you all read all this stuff and discuss this stuff together for a reason. Like it's part of, not only is it teaching y'all, but it's also building camaraderie, right? Like, okay, I know these comrades are gonna have my back. If I know something happens to me, I've got 59 other people that actually give a fuck, right? So that's part of that. Like I think a strong sense of camaraderie and bonds that are actually forged through struggle can play a major role in that. Because I think a lot of people, they go out and they try to do this shit on their own, and when things start happening, like this good old fashioned American individualism. Like, oh yeah, and you look at the movies, listen to music, and it like what the overarching theme in American music, American popular culture in general is: I don't need nobody. I can be a lone cowboy all by myself. I don't need anybody. I don't need. I can be a Superman. I can be a superhero. Even a lot of American revolutionaries have that sense. All I got to do is buy a shitload of guns, and I'm ready. Look at preppers. It's bourgeois individualism in the extreme. Like you spend all your money, you spend 50 grand on shitty fucking barrels of food that some guy with a 50-cent bullet can take from you.
Yeah, I mean, and we sort of have already a society where people already are trying to really manage their mental health, right? You have therapy speak, it's everywhere, it's mainstream. People want to alleviate their anxieties and their depressions, and I'm in a lot of group therapy spaces. And when I talk to people there, it's like I tell people how empowering activism can be because you're finding purpose, you're taking agency over your lives in a way that you cannot do if you're not doing anything. If you're just finding individual things in your life that make you feel better, right? Of course, part of activism has to be healing, and that's part of the process of empowering yourself, right? Because stoicism is really useful if you're the one who's sitting on the throne, right? Like we have this philosophical process founded by Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, right?
Yeah, a former Roman emperor. Didn't he give up his throne?
He did
To go live in the fucking woods somewhere.
Yeah, wild. It's really useful if you're the one who's sitting on the throne, but I mean, what's there for average people besides putting stuff into your own hands and making sure that those things that are out of your control, that stoicism tells you not to worry about, right? Telling you not to worry about those things that are out of your control. How about you actually fight against them, right?
Yeah.
Find the movers and shakers in your community.
I would be one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why liberation in particular, that's why we constantly promote like seeking leadership, training leadership. Like you cannot just be a bump on a log or a dead fish going with the flow. Like you actually have to go if you want change in this world, you have to actually go out and make it. What's up, Science?
Hey guys.
Yeah. Your birthday was yesterday.
It is, yeah, and I'm having a celebration tonight, but I thought I'd stop by to say hi.
What's up, comrade? So how do you think we can combat fear and repression, birthday comrade?
Ooh. By instilling more fear and more repression into the hearts of all men.
You fucking psychopath.
This guy.
They're not a guy, they're a them.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm
joking. I don't care about being called a guy.
Yeah.
Or being called guy, not a guy.
I'm being nice to Cyan because it's been their birthday and I'm turning over this new year of their life with being nice to them. I don't be mean to people after they turn on their birthday.
That's sweet. It was yesterday though, so you're allowed to be mean to me.
I don't know. What the fuck? Why did you think I remember your fucking birthday? Fuck. Anyways.
Because I just said it yesterday.
We're
having some comrades from Liberation coming though.
Oh yeah, awesome. Why are you in? So Comrade Connor asks, "Why are you in Liberation again?" Yeah, that's something we can do. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's ask each other, why did we join Liberation Caucus? Like, there's many, and I'm going to tie this back into our main theme later. But what made us join this caucus in particular? Like, there's Red Star, there's Mug, there's LSC. Also, try not to dump on other caucuses, especially other caucuses that are our friends.
Honestly, I will not dunk on any left caucuses.
Like, you've turned over a new leaf for your birthday. I'm so proud of you, Cyan.
No, I'll fucking dump on fucking every other caucus. If you want me to dump on Groundwork or SNC or something, trust me, I will.
This isn't about what I want. The fuck what I want. Like, so why did you pick us?
Well, I think I may have said this before, but my original inclination or interest was because of the Elias Rodriguez statement. That's how I heard about you guys. I don't know how much of this I should be saying on stream, but I'm just saying it is what initially attracted me to Liberation Caucus because you guys seem principled. That's it.
Yeah, that's how most people found out about us, actually. Maddie, what brought you to Liberation?
That's how Ted Cruz found out about us.
Oh no.
I had always been looking for a group of like-minded people in the DSA, so fellow Maoists, so on and so forth. And I knew I couldn't join Mass Work because they're over there in Twin Cities.
Yeah.
I wanted people who valued a diversity of tactics, right? Doing your mutual aid, but also doing a little bit of electoralism when necessary.
Okay, we have to differentiate between electoralism as strategy and electoral work.
I tend to, use
Yeah.
those terms interchangeably sometimes, but I know that there is a pretty big difference, of course. But I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you.
What about the
Ray,
candidates? Oh wait, we have one candidate. Never mind.
there's only one. We'll get to him. We'll get to El Señor Pato in un momento. Ray, why are
Yeah.
you here?
I'm here because, well, it's Maoist, and I mean, how many other Maoist orgs are there that aren't a bunch of bullshit?
Pretty much none. The Maoist movement in the United States is like a crock of weirdos.
The Maoist movement in the U.S. is pathetic and kind of hilarious.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, like I think that Liberation is the biggest Maoist formation in the United States that has made it this far without collapsing or splitting.
And we haven't even been around. Have we been around for a year at this point?
No.
No, our
No.
1 year anniversary. Our 1 year anniversary is in April.
Yeah.
Senor Quack.
Well, I was a Maoist for like 2 years, and by that I mean I just read a lot of Maoist works, and I was like, reading on the Philippines and India, and like, wow, Maoism is so cool. Let's see what type of what the Maoist movement is like in the U.S. Oh my God, it is awful. And then I probably waited too long. I eventually did decide to join DSA literally a week before I applied to Liberation. And because I was like, well, I'm a Maoist and I'm not a part of an org, so can I really call myself a communist? No. And what's the only like org that seems to actually be doing something? DSA. Where are the Maoists at? Liberation. Time to join.
Okay, that's dope. We're glad to have all of you.
Yay.
So,
you
like,
guys don't fuck with Chairman Gonzalez. Have you guys seen that meme? The one where there's the guy going to class or some shit, and
that was at UTA. Like the Red Guards and their little front groups, they used to do like their student group was called Revolutionary Student Front. I had one of their shirts a long time ago. I do not know where it is. I'm probably too fat for it now, though. Anyways, so they would do like a march on like important events around the Peruvian Revolution. I think they would do a march on Mao's birthday. They would do a big march on May Day. They would have people from like their thing every May Day was that you must needs be arrested. You have to be arrested every May Day.
that's
Like,
a terrible strategy.
And then they would set up a bail fund. I think one year they raised like 50. One year they raised like 50 grand. That was a major way in which they funded themselves. Anyways, yeah,
They funded themselves with bail funds.
pretty much. Anyways, so yeah, and like the dude who was trapped behind this little fucking protest, he was like, I don't give a fuck who Chairman Gonzalez is. I'm just trying to get back to my dorm, bro.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it was that aside. So we have Liberation, right? Which is like we've literally made like national news 4 or 5 times, yet people still join us. And like if repression, crackdown, whatever comes, they're probably gonna come fucking with us first because we're the edgy people in DSA, right? We don't try to be, but what do you say? Maoism scares people. So, well, Maoism scares the right people. Maoism is a threat to the right people. Like when you look at the United States government, when like who is the most threatening, they're not looking at SMC. They're not looking at groundwork. As a matter of fact, they want DSA to be nothing but SMC and groundwork because it's fucking weenie shit. But Maoists and MLs and anarchists, that's a no-no. You can't have people like that running the largest socialist organization in the United States.
Do we have any of our New York? Oh no, I guess none of the New York people. But you want to talk about brick by brick?
Brick by brick? Sure. We have 3 comrades in the Lower Manhattan branch, chapter, whatever, of NYC DSA who are running. Brick by brick. Yeah. Hold up. Here we go. So, yeah, they're running a slate for 2025, and we have 3 comrades who are, 3 cadres and 1 candidate who is running. So this is the 2025 slate. So yeah,
It's a nice
citywide.
website.
Yeah, you've got an R&R. You've got an R&R comrade, Alex, running for citywide co-chair. He's in South Brooklyn. Flatbush.
I'm glad to see R&R in here.
Yeah, it's a coalition. Brick by Brick is a coalition between. There's
Emerge, LSC, us, and R&R, right?
R&R and Springs of Revolution.
Oh, right, of course.
Yeah. All right. So and people are like, oh yeah, these ultras they don't organize, but like look at the resumes. You've got Rob K from Emerge. He is running for citywide leadership committee. He's been on the organizing committee in North Brooklyn for 3 terms and 2 terms on the labor. He's a graduate student in childhood education. He is a founding member and officer of the North Brooklyn Community Solidarity Committee. He joined DSA in 2018. He was a field lead for Zaran this year. Claire, 24. Brandon, 21. Jabari, he was treasurer. 22-24. He was worked comms and field for defund and racial justice, and he was a treasurer for Tax the Rich in 21. Very good organizing resume. You got Isaac from Emerge. You've got Sammy Z. I met a lot of these comrades in Chicago. Here's some more R&R comrades. So Central Brooklyn, you've got Diego, Independent, Nico from Emerge, Ronit from Emerge, good comrade. Yeah. Now let's scroll down. I'm not just trying to. Oh, you've got One Bread and Roses comrade, Desiree, David.
Really?
Desiree. Yeah. Maddie. I think you know them, don't you?
Wait, who?
David Desiree.
David Desiree.
They're involved in Amazon organizing.
Oh shit!
Bread and Roses.
Yeah, she's familiar.
Yeah, I get it. You know a lot of people. Like people are like, oh, do you know so and so? This is Lexi, one of our candidates.
She's I vaguely remember a lot of people.
Yeah, same. She's a field coordinator with the Trans Rights and Bodily Autonomy Working Group and is involved with the Community Solidarity Committee. Jazz, good comrade from Emerge. This is Bronx and Upper Manhattan. Lower Manhattan, these are our comrades. You've got Alina. She's a member of the Lower Manhattan branch. She's originally from Bashkortostan, Russia. She used to work in the corporate sphere for over a decade, but is now a full-time student getting a master's in social work. She would love to work with immigrant populations. She loves movies and reading leftist and non-leftist books, gaming, and fighting for animal liberation.
Whoa, wait. What? I didn't know that about Alina.
You didn't know that Alina was a militant vegan?
No.
That's a sign that you need to learn more about your comrades, comrade. You've got Petey McEntee from Liberation. He is a member of the Lower Manhattan branch and has been active in DSA for a year. He's basically a New York City local. And you've got Gia Veneta from Emerge. And you have Matt from Liberation. I actually roomed with Gia Veneta when we were in Chicago. I think I made fun of her charms. But yeah, and we have a comrade from YDSA, Ethan, also a very good comrade.
She gave me the funny cigarettes.
Yeah, I fucking hate. I've hated Jarms long before that. They're just hipster shit. Anyways,
wait, what's Jarms?
Clove cigarettes.
Oh. Wait, why don't you fuck with that?
They're disgusting.
They're so good.
Yeah, keep smoking them then. They're probably healthy for you.
I don't have them. I just know they're terrible for you.
Anyways, charms or no charms. These are the.
I know someone who gets them from Indonesia.
Oh, good for you. These are the 4 priorities to build up NYC DSA. 1, help Zaran be Zaran. Build a strong movement that opens up the political space for Zaran to stay anchored in his proud socialist traditions, rooted in the democratic decisions of DSA in spite of pressure from moderates and MAGA forces. So people are acting like the left in DSA is like inherently opposed to Zaran. Even Liberation is not inherently opposed to Zaran. Critical support is still support. Of course, we've had people that have called Zaran Zioran.
Let Tiva in, Chris.
Oh. What's up, Tiva?
Tiva, say your shit about Zaran.
What up? What up? He
Stop giving
won.
me fuck it. I don't care. Y'all say what y'all want.
He won. Now it's time for us to hold him accountable. That means critiquing what he does. If he doesn't do what he says he's gonna do, if he strays from the line, critiquing somebody is not taking power from them. He's already in office. So
If we had the power to take power from Zoran, we would literally be the most powerful caucus in DSA.
we wouldn't have mayors anymore. We'd be having a different conversation.
Yeah.
Tiva has a harder line on Zoran than I did. I didn't know about that until recently, but
Well, not as hard as Shane's though.
I think it's actually about as hard as Shane's. I'm not gonna lie, knowing Tiva.
I think electoralism is a tool to be used. It's not a means to an end, and anybody that uses it as a means to an end needs to read more.
It's fair.
I mean, yeah, that's the correct position.
Like, the goal is not to win the election. The goal is to agitate and educate. If you win, cool. You're probably not going to be able to get a lot of shit done, but the goal is not to win.
The goal is not to win an election. That's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? I mean, if I run for something, I'm going to try to win. Like, why would I run?
You can try to win. No. You can try to win.
And then let's say you win, but everybody else that's on whatever fucking city council, whatever, everybody is politically opposed to you. They're going to work against you. You're not going to be able to get anything done. You might get a bond here or there.
Mug comrades actually make the argument that you should try to capture the city council before you try to take the executive. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Didn't one of the
run slates? Don't run individuals. Run slates. Oh, so people say, oh, what about resources? What about, you're already knocking on doors. Instead of talking about,
so Ron used a shit ton of resources. A shit ton of resources.
Like, you're already knocking on doors. You're already making the phone calls. What difference does it make if you're running a slate or one person? Get the names out there. Get your image out there. That's what it's about, right? According to them, that's what it's about. Publicity, the clout, the name. You're gonna get more of that with more people running.
Yeah, that's true.
And then if more of those people win, now you have more control in that school board or whatever.
Yeah. Didn't one of the it was some really high up politician in New York City invited Netanyahu to go to New York City the day of Zoran's inauguration, right? Did you guys see that?
That would be some funny shit.
Yeah, they was baiting. They was saying some let's see him arrest Netanyahu now.
I would literally walk up to the closest cop. Yo, let me get them handcuffs. Walk right up to his ass and slap him on him. Anyways,
I'd reach for something else, but yeah.
How can a cop say no to you if you're in DSA?
Yo, I gotta work tonight.
I've been seeing a lot of articles about like billionaires being interviewed about their opinions on Zoran and how they're like changing their script about how they would actually try to work with him and all that. I think Bloomberg was saying he's going to arrange a meeting, and then all these people who are in the investment world in NYC are just like saying they're going to meet with Zoran now.
He's already met with a good number of them.
Yeah, he is the fucking mayor. He does have to meet with people. Anyways, back to the brick by brick.
Does he have to suck George Soros off to be a successful mayor?
I don't fucking know about that. I don't fucking care. I don't even live in
George Soros gonna croak?
I don't know.
George Soros has a son. Did y'all know that?
George Soros injects his money straight into his veins.
All right. Anyways,
that sounds nice.
Back to the brick by brick platform. So, point 2 is collective liberation from New York to Gaza. Prioritize mass political organizing that forges deep community building, tying together working people's struggles from the Immigrant Justice Working Group's fight to abolish ICE to the Break the Chain campaign, which our liberation comrades have been deeply involved in, for an arms embargo. 3, let members lead. Develop a strong, efficient democracy that promotes member-led chapter organizing by establishing more transparency and new avenues for the input in the chapter governance. And 4, organize a chapter that reflects New York City. Work with communities in East Queens, the Bronx, and Staten Island to grow new branches and invest robustly in AfroSoc, Holla, and Socialism is the People to cultivate a DSA which is representative of our multiracial city. So yeah, I fuck with this. Every every DSA chapter, every DSA branch, whatever you want to call it, should have something like this. And how can you support? If you're in New York, you can pledge your vote, like so. Yeah, like that. You put your name, your branch, all that. And if you're not in New York, you can follow along. But ideally, you're in New York, because I fucking hate it when I'm like doing an organizer campaign and people are like, "Oh, how can I help from afar?" I'm like, "Well, how the fuck are you going to help me from afar?"
Repost.
Yeah,
That's
I
about
hate
it.
Yeah, like what the fuck can you do for me? But anyways, yeah, it's good. I hope they hope. I think the Comrades have a really, really good chance of winning. So I got to start getting ready for work in a bit. But no, Tiva says bombard the Gang of Four. But
Low
so
key though.
back to like, so we're all here in this, like, this very, very, like, I keep saying that Liberation is a very charismatic caucus. Like, people just cannot stop talking about us. People love us or hate us, envy us. But like, yeah, we're very charismatic caucus. I saw somebody calling us a streamer orbiter caucus the other day, which I find hilarious. But
We have
yeah.
one streamer. You're the only streamer. Well, actually, we
Well,
have two, I guess.
if we recruit Hassan, then we'll have three. Anyways,
Did he ever respond to you?
I didn't say no.
What?
Do you have any idea how many messages that dude probably gets every fucking day?
Yeah, but you're Black Red Guard.
Yeah, like your aura is unmatched.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think you should be reaching out to him. You have to wait for him to reach out
Yeah,
to you.
he has to come to us.
Yeah.
That was the first time I think I've mentioned him like directly on Twitter. Anyways, so Repression, DSA, and various other left organizations. Like, we're probably going to end up getting, if we haven't already, gotten a letter like PFCL got last a few months ago, basically like, "Oh yeah, my name is Marco Rubio, and I'm watching you." So like, and
you.
that stuff scares weak people, right? That stuff scares people who probably really don't need a DSA in the first place. Like, if you're scared of a fucking piece of paper, then like, yeah. But like,
That's what it's meant to do too. Is it's
Yeah.
it's intimidation tactics.
Honestly, if we don't get one, then we're a failure as an
What are we
Yeah,
organization.
we're failures. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, like Fred Hampton said, like, how many of y'all have been attacked? How many, like, how the fuck y'all running around calling yourselves revolutionaries and your office ain't been shot up once? So,
Exactly.
yeah,
That's
like,
facts.
if we're doing our job as revolutionaries, repression is going to come, and we should not like.
That
I've seen the impulse of a
repression
lot of people.
means that they have something that they fear about what we're doing.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people in DSA be like, "Oh, we can't do anything but the most garden variety legal activity."
Don't
because
say that. Don't post that. Don't talk about that. Don't do that.
I'm like, bro, I'm a grown ass man. You can't tell me what to say. What are you gonna do? Come give me a whooping? Like, you're basically doing the Fed's job for them.
Yeah,
Because
pretty much.
it's like it's not keeping yourself safe. It's not keeping your comrades safe. It's
It's
doing
weakening the
yeah, it's
collective.
weakening you. It's weakening you in the eyes of the masses, because the masses are going to be like, okay, so y'all are running around calling yourselves communists, socialists, whatever. Yet y'all are bitches. Y'all let the feds dog y'all out. Y'all let so and so dog y'all out. Y'all want back on y'all's word. Why the fuck would we do anything that y'all want us to do? Why would we go vote for y'all? Y'all punks. How the fuck are you going to defend me? And you don't even know what your position is. You let the feds run you around. The reason why a lot of people like Trump is because, like, he conveys the image of not backing down, of being adversarial to these, like, reacted to these people that are fucking with him. I mean, the guy has committed many, many, many crimes, like sick crimes, as has been recently revealed. But to his fans, to the fucking
They're coming after him.
yeah, to the fucking dump truck driver in Des Moines that voted for him twice despite only making 24 grand a year. He's like, "Oh yeah, you know what? You can't tell me shit about Trump." Like, and this guy has a cult around him. Like, there were people that will literally fucking cave in your skull if you say anything bad about this guy in their hearing. Why? Because it's the psychological impact of what he represents in these people's pinched little brains. Like a comrade of mine, a white comrade, grew up working class in Appalachia. Like he, before Trump was elected, this is around 2014, 2015. This comrade literally identified Trump as white America's id. If you're familiar with Freudian psychology, like your id is basically like the fucked up, nasty, horny shit in your brain, if I recall correctly. Like
Yeah, that sounds about right.
it's basically like what you wear the mask.
Yeah, it's your most innate desire. Like,
Yeah,
he's basically a culmination of like the settler colonies fucking past and present. Like everything that they want to be, but they couldn't be or couldn't say because of like woke culture, quote unquote, like all of this bullshit. And he's the one that broke the fourth wall and was like, no, we can do this.
yeah. Ray, you've been sat here for almost an hour and you have not said a mumbling word. What's your position on all this?
3 bottles of moonshine later.
Ray, you've been drinking
Ray is a sober little guy.
Ray is eating Cincinnati chili.
Who the fuck spends an hour eating chili? Ray, what you got to say?
Cincinnati chili versus Albuquerque chili.
Be quiet. Let Ray speak.
Facts.
No. Going back to the sorry. I can't do fucking meetings today. Going back to,
welcome to DSA.
Yeah, I know. Going back to like what this stream is about, the whole beer of repression. How my position is that if you're too afraid now, then that fear is only going to stop you and other people, and you will have to live with the consequences of that fear. Since I'm pretty sure most, if not every single person in this call, if there is no like victory of socialism or no like successful revolution, I'm pretty sure everyone in this goddamn call is going to be a victim of a goddamn genocide.
I ain't being a victim of shit.
Sure. Yeah, well,
the fuck? Are you gonna start it?
I'm bringing more of them than they bringing of me.
I don't believe
we can take them. We have you, Ray.
I don't believe in victim mentality. Shit, people only. I'm of the Kwame Ture opinion. If a white man has the power to lynch me, it's because I gave him that power. I ain't being the victim of shit.
I gotta have some dope ass final words if they're gonna get me.
But
are you familiar with cracker control?
But some people, including me, are not part of the reason why they are not afraid of like any like repression is because they see what if we do nothing and just let everything happen. They have seen a glimpse of what will happen.
I was being facetious, by the way.
Yeah,
you're right. You know, and like, yeah, you're right. Like these people, literally, they don't give a fuck about us. Like if they could, they would drag everybody off this call. They would drag me, a black gay man. They would drag Senor Quack, a Latino. They would drag Ray, a queer person. They would drag Maddie, a queer person. They would drag Cyan, a queer person. They would drag Tiva, a queer mixed race person. They would drag us all out and would shoot us.
What? So I'm white. I get the white just the queer thing now. The fuck?
Anyway, so
you're by the way.
A cracker with poi on it is still a cracker. Anyways.
Okay.
I'm just gonna fucking break my knees.
I am gonna fucking break your knees if you say that shit to me again.
Did I just call you a cracker with poi on it?
Yeah, you
did. Yeah, you deserve to get your fucking knees broken for that shit.
Didn't I say I was gonna start being nice to you?
You did.
Like 5 times.
Oh, I'm sorry. I went back on my word. I've got ADHD. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Yeah, so who's the cracker? You're the cracker.
What the fuck? How the fuck am I a cracker? Do I look like a cracker?
How the fuck am I a cracker?
Because you are white. Anyways.
Don't you have some white in you too?
Yeah, like 10%. Anyways.
Okay.
That's not enough for
You want to do blood quantum? You're trying to do blood quantum?
That's
Oh,
not enough
no.
for a baseball team.
We don't need to do race science here, okay?
Are you trying to do blood quantum?
I have to get ready for work. I don't have time for jaw jacking with you fuckers all night. Anyways,
To
what were
be-
we talking about?
To be afraid of repression is a luxury that most people cannot afford to have.
Yeah, it's true. So Mao
That goes
said,
back to that whole I'm getting ready to leave. I have to leave the country. I'm gonna leave the country. Like,
and go
cool.
where?
Good for you.
Go be a parasite
China.
on somebody. Go be a parasite on the Chinese people. Speaking of the Chinese people, Mao offered us some very good instructions and lessons from the experience of his people. So Mao, on coalition government, said, at a critical moment in the progress of the Northern Expedition, the treacherous and reactionary parties of Party Purge and Massacre adopted by the Kuomintang authorities wrecked the National United Front. The United Front of the Kuomintang, the Communist Party, and all sections of the people which embodied the Chinese people's cause of liberation and all its revolutionary policies. Thereupon, unity was replaced by civil war, democracy by dictatorship, and a China full of brightness by a China covered in darkness. But the Chinese Communist Party and the Chinese people were neither cowed, nor conquered, nor exterminated. We picked ourselves up, wiped off the blood, buried our fallen comrades, and wanted to battle again.
Do you know this shit by heart?
I'm reading it off a screen and you interrupted me. Holding high the great standard of revolution, they rose in armed resistance, and over a vast territory in China, they set up people's governments, carried out land reform, built up a people's army, the Chinese Red Army, and preserved and expanded the revolutionary forces of the Chinese people. So basically, people do to you what you let them. If you do not take this shit seriously, if you do not take the threat of repression seriously, if you do not take the need to combat fear seriously, then you're going to deserve what happens to you. Lenin said that a people who refuse to arm themselves is going to be treated like slaves and deserves to be treated like slaves because you have refused. You have willingly refused. You had every opportunity to prepare yourself for what was coming. You see what they're doing, yet you refuse to take. You keep doing the same old shit, going around canvassing, going around phone banking, not taking anything seriously. We offer many like studies and like practical shit to help get your shit together. That's why I helped take the lead and founding a Red Rabbit subcommittee in my city, because we need to start taking this shit seriously. If you don't come, if you find other shit to do and you end up getting your ass kicked, that's on you, buddy. Like, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot force it to drink. If you refuse to drink, then you're going to die of thirst, and it's going to be all your fault. Because
you make analogies like Chinese people.
No, I make analogies that I got from my Southern grandmother. Anyways, so does anybody have anything?
Chinese?
No, my Southern grandmother is Southern. Well, my favorite thing she used to tell me was like, my favorite thing she used to tell me, like, she would come in from work, I would be sitting. She had like this armchair that she used to sit in, and I would sit in it. And she said, "Boy, unass my chair." Anyways, so is there anything that we want to wrap up with? So, like, what is the main one sentence summary of how we in Liberation Caucus can help our comrades get over fear of repression?
They're gonna kill you either way. Why walk willingly into that bullet?
Number one, Cyan, please nothing stupid about mass executions.
Wait, what was the question again? Sorry.
So, how can we help our comrades in DSA as Liberation Caucus? One sentence. How can we help them combat fear and repression?
I like the Red Rabbits campaign. I hope we can get it to spread far and wide.
Okay. Maddie?
Red Rabbits is a good one. And then a lot of it is that we need to really encourage like all of the people in DSA, like social workers, people who have experience in harm reduction and mental health, to really start putting forward and building spaces in our organization where people can go to actually talk about these deep feelings, right? Where people can.
That was a long ass sentence, comrade.
It's a run-on sentence.
Ray.
It's a luxury to be a coward.
See?
Facts.
Ray understood the assignment. El Señor Pato.
We have to win.
We have to win. Dare to struggle, dare to win. Because if you don't, whose fault is it? It's yours. The enemy is going to be the enemy. Like, never get mad at the enemy for being the enemy. These people do not want us to win. If you had, like, you have to keep in mind, like, there's an antagonistic contradiction. There is no reason in any plausible universe why the ruling class would want a bunch of fucking communists to win. There's no reason in any plausible universe why a bunch of communists should continue to sit on our ass and complain and bitch and whine and allow the enemy to win. This is an antagonistic contradiction. We are at war.
Why wouldn't the ruling class want communists to win?
Act accordingly. We are the Gang of Six. Good night.
Adios.
Senior Quack, hop on VC.